Next, we're going to talk about how the process for owner accompaniment works. The invitation process. The appraiser may contact the owner by phone, by letter, mailing, or email, or stopping by and knocking at the door. The appraiser must give the property owner reasonable opportunity to accompany the appraiser on the inspection of the property. Reasonable means at least 3 attempts to contact the owner. The appraiser is to accommodate the owner to make it easier for the owner to accompany the appraiser. That means the appraiser may have to meet when the owner is done working. These same conditions would apply to the owner's designated representative. Out-of-town owners may need even more time to allow accompaniment. If the appraiser cannot reach an owner, the appraiser needs to contact the district real estate administrator. The district may have additional information that would allow the appraiser to make owner contact. The appraiser needs to create documentation about the contact attempts. This documentation will become part of the appraisal. If 3 attempts have been made and after the district has been advised, the district may allow the appraisal process to continue without owner accompaniment. During accompaniment, the appraiser may ask about things that are underground: sprinkler heads, leach fields, drainage tiles, electric lines to lighting and signage. The property owner may express concerns over issues interpreted from the plans, such as trees or proximity if the proposed right-of-way is moving towards the structure. The appraiser needs to mention these concerns in the appraisal report. An appropriate place in the report to mention these concerns is in the effect of the tape. Some miscellaneous items. During the inspection, the appraiser needs to be professional, polite, and respectful. The appraiser needs to arrive at the property being fully informed of the plans and having relevant questions ready to ask. During the inspection, the appraiser cannot discuss anything regarding the market value of the property or compensation. The appraiser should collect contact information from the owner and provide that information to the district, who can then provide it to the negotiator. Documenting the accompaniment process. What happens if the parcel is reviewed and it's determined that it's unknown if the appraiser made an invitation to the owner to accompany the appraiser during the inspection process? Well, that puts the agency in a circumstance that it can be cited with multiple violations, and that can then also affect the appraiser who didn't document owner accompaniment. It would be a violation of federal law, 42 U.S.C. Chapter 61. The Uniform Act, that's really a violation of the Uniform Act, because the Uniform Act was codified into 42 United States Code, Chapter 61, that requires owner accompaniment. It'd be a violation of another federal regulation, 49 CFR 24.102. That regulation implements the Uniform Act, and it requires owner accompaniment. It would be a violation of federal regulation, 23 CFR section 710.201. That regulation governs FHWA, who is the agency responsible to oversee laws and regulations controlling federal highway funds and projects. And that requires compliance to other federal regulations, and that requires owner accompaniment. Violation of Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 163.59. Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 163 is appropriation law in the state of Ohio. And Section 163.59 of that code establishes land acquisition practices for the heads of acquiring agency. And paragraph C requires owner accompaniment. It'd be a violation of Ohio regulation, Ohio Administrative Code, Section 5501 2-506. That regulation governs the ODOT real estate acquisition process, and that process requires owner accompaniment. It would also be a violation of the ODOT real estate manual, Section 4000.07. These are the procedures used by ODOT, and those procedures are approved by FHWA to acquire when ODOT acquires real estate, and ODOT procedures require owner accompaniment. That triggers another violation of federal regulation, which is 23 CFR 710.201. That regulation governs FHWA, and FHWA requires ODOT, LPAs, and consultants to comply with the ODOT real estate manual, and that manual requires owner accompaniment. Adequately documenting the owner accompaniment process avoids that mess. Documenting the accompaniment process includes documenting required for appraisals and not required for waiver valuations. Have the owner sign the RE91, the owner verification and property inspection form if possible. If the owner refused to accompany or if contact with the owner could not be made, the appraiser needs to have adequate discussion in the appraisal about attempts made, the dates, results of those attempts, and who was contacted and the results of those contacts. Owner accompaniment is further documented in the certificate of appraisal that is a part of the value finding template. Adequate documentation means that it's easy for any reader of the appraisal report to understand if the appraiser reasonably made an invitation to the property owner or the owner's representative to accompany the appraiser on the inspection of the property, and the appraiser has adequately described the results of that invitation. Key points in the documentation include date invitation was made, how the invitation was made, the owner's response to the invitation, the date of the inspection, who was present during that inspection, issues raised by the property owner, contact information for the owner or their representative. It's now time for a knowledge check.